Hey everybody, this is Rick. It's wintertime outside, and what happens in most parts of the country in the wintertime is outside the humidity level drops, the air dries out outside, and what happens outside house eventually filters into the inside of your house, and the air inside your house starts to dry out. All of a sudden your hands start to crack, they get rough, my fingertips will split wide open. If I run my hand on my shirt, it sounds like my hands are made out of sandpaper. You touch a doorknob, you get a shock. You take your shirt off at night, or you flip down the covers of your bed and you've got static electricity like a lightning storm is going off in the house. I found the answer for that a long time ago, and the answer is a humidifier. What the humidifier does is take moisture that's inside it and put that moisture back into the air of your house. The way it works is there's openings in the back, and when this is running, what happens is it will draw air in from the open in the back, and down below on this model there are 4 separate wicks. Those wicks are laying in a pool of water that keeps them wet. Those wicks will wick up the water all the way through it, and as the air comes in through the sides, it goes through the pores of the wick. The wick releases the moisture back into the air, and then that now wet air comes up through the fans on the top of this. It works amazing. I typically keep mine set at 50%. I keep the fan speed on mine as low as it can go because this is in our living room and I don't want to hear the noise. And when the temperature drops here, we're now in Virginia, and when the temperature gets down in the 40s and the 30s, this thing will run most of the time, and this thing will put out 4 gallons of water every 24 hours. That's a tremendous amount of water, and I fill it up in the morning, I fill it up at night, I'll check the level of it, make sure it needs it, and I just know from experience, if this thing is running most of the time, then I need to keep adding water. And again, that's putting 4 gallons of water back into my house all the time. We run one of these downstairs, and it does a pretty good job adding humidity to the downstairs. In our last house, we had our bedrooms upstairs, so I had one of these in the bedroom upstairs and another one of these downstairs, and when it got really cold, I ran them both. I'll tell you more at the end why I chose this model and what the differences are for some of the other models. But let me show you some more about it. And at this point, I'm going to do my obligatory, if you would please click the like button and the subscribe button. And all that really does is that helps the next person when they're searching for dry skin or split fingertips or bloody noses. This video may pop up. Hopefully they'll see it, and hopefully it helps them too. So it would be great if you would do that. So back over here, this is the wicking material that comes with this humidifier. Now, different humidifiers have different wicks. This one happens to have 4. And again, like I said, what this does is the bottom of this will be laying in water, and this will absorb it all the way up to the top. And then when it turns on, the fan blows air through the pores of the wick releases the moisture back into the air, and it blows it back into the house. Whenever I put new wicks in, which is the beginning of every year, I immediately go out and buy another box of them so I have them on hand. I know from my past experience, once I start this thing and the temperature drops, I don't want to not have these. These will tend to clog up over time. That's why I don't like them compared to the older Sears Rotobelt. They will clog up. You will see the top turn brown. That's part calcium and part because the bottom stays wetter than the top. It's just how it is. They're meant to be disposable. You might have to change them once a season. You might have to change them twice a season. It's just how it is. But I make darn sure I always have a spare set on hand because If that dries out and all of a sudden no longer is absorbing and I don't have it running for a week or even a day, my humidity level goes way, way down, and instantly we can tell the difference. So that's how the wicks work. The way I keep an eye on humidity is simple hygrometer. It's this one measures, this has a bunch of different sensors we have in a bunch of different locations, but here's my house, 49% humidity. These are not accurate by any means. I've had 3 and 4 of these lined up next to each other. One of them will read 49, one will read 51, one will read 47, one will read 53. It's just how they are. Do they make more accurate ones? Yes, but you're going to spend for them. But I have taught myself to just pick one, understand the number, and just be happy with it. I shoot for between 46 and 50% humidity in the house in the wintertime. And as long as I'm somewhere in that range, I'm happy and my skin is happy. Now, if you're not going to run this for a while, you'll have water laying in the bottom of it and bacteria can grow. So they make a product called bacteriostatic treatment. This is what I've been using. And the instructions on this say to add 1/6 ounce of this with every gallon of water. To this line here is 2 gallons. That's how much I put in this humidifier every morning and every night when I'm running. I'm not getting teaspoons out and trying to measure 1/6 of a gallon. So what I have found is this little guy. If you've ever worked on 2-cycle engines and you've ever worked with engine oil mix, you know what this is. This says 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce. I have that antibacteriostat treatment. I'm typically pouring in 2 gallons. So what you do is you squeeze and the treatment goes up here and you put in as much as you want. And you stop. And this goes back down. Now, I'm going to open the cap. And as long as I tip, let me get this straight here. As long as I tip it this way, there's no liquid in this tube. The only thing going in here is what's in there. Squeeze it out, come back, close it up. If I were to tip it this way, that tube will stay filled up. And if you have this tip to where you're squirting out here and there's still liquid back here, you're just gonna keep squirt, 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 squirt. Unless you get it completely up to where there's no fluid here, then you can do it that way. But I'll try to link this thing in the description. I found this is amazing. Everybody that I know has one of these now. And I add, since that's 1/4 ounce and that's 1/2 ounce, I know somewhere roughly is 1/3 of an ounce. 1/6 ounce per gallon, I always do 2 gallons. That's 1/3 of an ounce. And as long as I'm in between those bubbles, it's not critical, I'm happy. So that has worked extremely well for me. So that's it. I'm gonna link what I can down in the description. I've been wanting to do this a long time and I'm glad I finally got it done. And at the very end, let me tell you, there's different models of this humidifier and a lot of them look about the same. Number one, do not get a steam little baby one that sits on a countertop. Do not get an ultrasonic little baby one. Number one, they will not humidify a house. My experience, they won't even humidify a room. And the ultrastatics will put white dust on all of your electronics. Trust me. The TV screen will be coated in white dust. The frame will be coated in white dust. Your DVR will be coated in white dust. It's just a byproduct of the way the ultrasonic humidifier works. I don't like them. I don't use them. Get these big monsters. Again, if you've got an upstairs and a downstairs, you might have to get 2. I purchased this one solely because, bear with me a second. Get my flashlight here. I can put 2 gallons of water in there and walk away. I like that fact. There are, and I have this just because it was splashing on me, so I just made a little gutter. I pour my water from the bucket right into there. They make another version of this that has one big water jug. You physically pick the water jug out, take it over to the sink, turn it upside down, unscrew the cap, fill it with water, put it back down. Not bad, nice and convenient. They make another version that has two separate water jugs on each side. Same thing, you pull one of them out, take it to the sink, fill it up. The way those work, I believe, is one will completely drain and empty before it starts using out of this one. That's okay. The thing I don't like about the one big jug is, for me, if I don't keep an eye on it, and if that empties, this whole thing empties and my house dries out. If I'm out for the day, my house is going to dry out. At least with the two jug model, if this one drains out, it has this one to continue using, then I know to go back and fill this one. But again, I chose this one because I did not want to have to lug the water jugs. I'm happier just pouring it in here. So don't trust the color of this. I've learned from experience, every couple of years they change how these look. You can't trust the model number, you can't trust the color. You have to just go look for the features that you want. But I will see if they still make this one, and if they do, then I will post this one in my description. So sorry this is so long. That's typically me. I hope this helps you. If it does, again, please leave me a comment. I am really good about responding to comments and questions. Anything I can do to help anyone else, I love to do that. God bless and have a great day.